Hi guys, I forgot I had this in my draft, so we're just gonna do Yapnomics Lite really fast. This was supposed to be a compilation of a video I forgot to make and one that I didn't feel like making and just kind of things I looked at in 2024. It's literally halfway through 2025, but we're just gonna do this now because it was there and I forgot about it and now I have to do it. Okay, yeah, really quick. Self-inserts. I don't like them. Very largely speaking, I don't really care for self-inserts. I feel like I'm kind of over them. Yeah, it's for a lot of reasons. Here's a list of self-inserts I like and self-inserts I don't like. I think the biggest thing about self-inserts, I think, is like, how much they, I guess they like let you like project onto them. I think there's like a very big difference between like a self-insert character that you're like, yeah, just like go fucking buck wild with versus like Joker Persona 5 where like they want you to think that like Joker's really cool but it's also your Joker, but it's not because I'm 25, I'm not in high school anymore. And when Joker does a triple backflip to rip a dude's head off and then stab them in the chest, I don't feel like that's me doing it. That's David-san doing it. Remember to watch Yapnomics 1. I was a big fan of, like, self-inserts with personality, which I think says a lot about me because, like, in that case, it's not a self-insert. It's just a dude with a name you can change. I liked Delir. I thought it was really funny when he looked at the camera and said, "I'm the Fire Emblem." You know. I think, since we're in 2025, shit. Fucking 100 line? The main character is basically a self-insert. Part of that is because it's a visual novel and it's written by the Danganronpa guy, and obviously you want your main character to be likable. But they also really want you to like project on the main character, I think. I don't know. I'm not really about that kind of thing anymore. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my like opinion. That's how it is. Nothing I do fucking matters with a self-insert. I don't like it when they give you a dialogue option and nothing matters. Well, that's not true. Because Divinity Original Sin, they let you have choices that matter. Joker's conversation doesn't really matter. You could spend the entire game just like not socializing with people and like not working on your stats. Will it make the game go slower? Yes. Will you have to grind? Probably. I don't know. I played it on like a normal difficulty. But like, Fire Emblem Three Houses, they don't really like let you do like dialogue options, like a lot of like supports with like your units, but between like other characters and Byleth, when you have like a support with them, if Byleth has an opportunity to say something, there's a lot of times where they don't give you a dialogue option, they just give you like a pop-up of like one thing and you have to press A on it, and it's like, then it's not really me talking. That's just the game railroading me into a fucking conversation topic. I think the biggest thing that makes self-inserts like good is being able to have agency over your actions. Like I mentioned in Divinity Original Sin, I like that in DOS 2, when you do a thing, you are rewarded with like a change in like your personality or like your alignment or like your stats, and then like that affects like how other NPCs interact with you or like how you like perform in combat. One thing that you can do in DOS 2 is that after you eat a certain number of dead bodies, you get the villain tag, which I think is really fucking funny. I like the dialogue options in Final Fantasy XIV. I think that has the same thing as, it's the same issue where like you do a thing and it like doesn't really fucking matter, but I think it like lends itself to like a little bit of like roleplay. It's like, how would I react in this situation? How would my little guy react in this situation? You know, it's like, it gives like a little twist to like the dialogue. Obviously the overarching narrative isn't gonna change, but you're allowed to like change how you respond to it, and I think that's like, it's cool because it's like cool to talk about that kind of thing. All right, media consumed 2024 that doesn't have a video made about it because I don't feel like making a 30-minute video about Beyblade, but we did watch Beyblade. It's pretty funny. I think we stopped at like episode 30 something. We can always go back to it. But I feel like, you know, it was fine. It's Beyblade. It's a kids show. It's like really funny. You just like put it on. You could edit any frame of the show where they're holding the Beyblade launch. You can make it look like they're holding a gun. It would have the exact same like vibes. Like there's a dude who like tries to snipe people from like 3 million meters away with his Beyblade. I think that's fucking insane. They have Seto Kaiba in it. That's also kind of insane. The only problem is that I think they're like animated, or at the very least, like in like North America, they're distributed by like the same company. So I keep confusing Beyblade with Bakugan because they both start with B and they're both like fucking ridiculous. But to be honest, I like this one more than Bakugan because I will never forgive them for what they did to my goat Masquerade. Side note, Ryuga is that bitch. I think Masquerade wishes he was Ryuga. I played Three Houses last year. Every time I go on like a family vacation, I get like to a point where I'm like tired of like doing the vacation part and like going outside, and then I just like go and play like a Three Houses route because I actually never did finish all of them. So this time I did the Golden Deer route, which I don't think I even finished at the time of recording. And I made this slide in January 2025, so I don't know, I just didn't really have the motivation to do it. I'm not going to criticize the plot because other people are still like leading the front lines on if Edelgard was right or not. The soundtrack is good, the visuals are fucking dog even when you're like, oh, this game came out in like 2019. It looks like dog. Maybe it like, I don't know, maybe it like looks better on like the Switch 2 because the Switch 2 actually like can push Three Houses to 30 FPS or say, I don't fucking know. They're gonna release like a $20 upgrade pack at some point, and then maybe it's gonna be fine. But honestly, just play Engage. If you have $60 and you want to play a game where you can click on a grid, go play Fire Emblem Engage. It's a lot better. The story's actually enjoyably funny. I don't really like I can't fucking stand the monastery. Every time I want to play this game, I spend like all my time in the monastery. I don't have to, right? I could just mash start and skip through it, but then I think about the first time I played this game in 2019, where I almost, and the important word is almost, I almost soft-locked myself because I got sick of the monastery and I mashed through everything and I made it to the final chapter of the church route with no tier 4 promoted units, and I suffered on that map with like the 80 million dragons on it for 7 hours, and I still beat it. I'm just gonna put that, I still beat it, and it sucked. I don't think this game is really well designed. I think there's a lot of like, stat checks instead of actual like, interesting strategy checks. The easiest way to describe this is that like in the first like real map where you're doing like the mock battle after you pick a house on lunatic difficulty, the enemies are level 7 and you start at like level 1. That's not engaging for like difficulty. That's literally just you being like, I'm gonna stand on this tree and hope I get lucky, and if I don't, I'm gonna press LR, like, you know, ZL and move back a step. Like, it's a bit stupid. And also this game has fixed RNG, so going backwards isn't actually gonna help you. You just kind of have to hard reset. That's stupid. I played the Final Fantasy 16 DLC. I liked it. I think, oh, fuck, I started choking. I think it's like the kind of thing that's good if you want more Final Fantasy 16. If you're playing it because you're like, oh, I didn't like the base game and I hope it's gonna fix it, I don't really think that's like what you're gonna get out of it. I think there's two very simple things about 16. If you didn't like the plot, you know what, that's okay. That's your opinion, you're entitled to it. If you didn't like the plot, don't get the DLC. If you didn't like the gameplay, just like mod it on PC. There's a few like accessories that come in like the first DLC pack that changes the gameplay, which is pretty interesting. The Rising Tide is more of a plot focused DLC. I'm not gonna get too into it. I think it's nice for closure. I think it's very nice as like a send off to the game. Does it give you any actual like answers, or like does it like tie any like open threads that like the base game left? Not really. Well, you know, some of it obviously, because you're like, oh, you know, you're finding the last icon, but you know that it ties up. But you know, that's just how it be. They're both wonderful. They have nice soundtracks. I like 16, so obviously I'm gonna like glaze this. Did I play 7R? Yes, actually. I lied on this slide. I did play it for about, I think, like 8 hours. I got to the part where Cloud fell into the church, and and my problem is that 7R makes me fucking motion sick. So even if I like want to play it, which like I kind of like do/don't, because on one hand I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice to not play it, but on the other hand, it makes me motion sick to play it longer than like an hour at a time, and it's just really exhausting to like boot up my PC, boot up my PS5, settle down on my couch, boot up a game, and then I have to turn it off after like I did like 2 battles because it's a PS5 game and 1 hour 1 hour is the length of like one cutscene. It's a PS5 game. Astrobot's cool. It's not $60 cool. I'm sorry, I'm not like a big 3D platformer guy. I don't have the Shadow game because I don't know. I don't like platformers. I guess I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I'm not really big into those anymore. I don't know. I liked it though. Dawn Trail. I liked Dawn Trail. Came out. When did it come out? Well, I'm stupid. It came out 2024. I liked it. You know what? This is Dead Horse territory. I'm not gonna get too like crazy into it. Because spoilers, obviously. I liked it a lot. I'll fight with people about it. I understand why people don't like it, but ultimately you're entitled to your opinion just as I'm entitled to mine. Do I think it is peak writing? No. Do I like what it introduces? Yes. I think it's very hard to criticize Dawn Trail for various reasons, but a lot of the time I feel like a lot of the arguments made against it are made in bad faith. I'm gonna be very honest. I'll play Balatro. It's Balatro. That's it. I don't know what you want me to fucking say here. We watched the Madoka movie around like May or June of last year. I got high to watch it, and we started at 2 a.m. and right at this exact frame where they're on the bus and they cross under the bridge, that's when the edible kicked in and I got really scared. I'm gonna be honest. I was literally like gripping the sides of like my chair, just like watching it motionless for an hour. Great movie. It holds up. I'm super excited for the sequel this year. I think these lesbians are gonna save anime. I also watched Ju-Wing. It's very okay, honestly. I think I would put it like a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. You know, it's like you put it on, you watch a few episodes, you go do something else. It did not change my life. The suit design is cool. They have Third Strike Yin and Yang for some reason. Every episode you look at like Hiro or you look at like Relina and you're like, dude, what the fuck is their problem? Wow, hold on, this song is like kind of a little bit loud. You just look at it and you're like, what the fuck is their problem? That's it. I was not like super invested in it. I said I was gonna watch the sequel movie. I didn't really want to. Go watch G-Quux though. That's a good one. We played Supervive. I forgot to put a picture in here. I miss Battle Right. I think Supervive, being that it was made by like some ex like SLS devs and like some ex-Rioter devs, I think they have like a really interesting base, but it doesn't have any like staying power. I feel like after the first week after it came out, I played the game. I said, yeah, that was cool. I literally have not touched it since. I don't really fuck with a lot of the heroes. Some of the combat's really annoying, but overall it's like a fun game and I like what it was doing. I just didn't really feel like any motivation to play it for like longer than I did. Maybe that's like my fault. Maybe it's because I still miss Sirius too much. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's my fault. And then I played League of Legends because I'm cursed and I've always been playing this fucking game. There was a point in time last year where I was statistically guaranteed to lose if I was up lane, or if I was up kills in my lane. It was rough. And my ass is still gonna show to do more of my placements this year. So, I don't know. I'm Boo Boo the Fool. That's it. That's Yapnomics Lite. Thanks for fucking tuning in. I don't know.